Yes, you're still here on The Economy Today, and today we want to look at building businesses and also business development. And we're in the office of Ade Otukomaya, the controller of a Lekki Free Zone. Yes, Ade, you're a very quite young man, and you're doing this kind of thing, you know. Sometimes there's people who have grown gray hairs, you know, more than mine that does this kind of thing. But now let's look at business development, which I'm sure you are very into. How would you regard the whole zone as a business itself, and also being able to attract other businesses into it? So for you, a business developer, what do you say about that?
Thank you, George. The Lekki Free Zone is one of the areas by which Nigeria intends to develop its economy. And Lekki Free Zone Development Company is the operator and the owners of the Lekki Free Zone quadrant, Southwest quadrant. It may be very important for you to understand the breakdown of the entire Lekki Free Zone, just for context, so for better understanding. So Lekki Free Zone is a total of about 16,000 hectares of land that has been dedicated into 4 areas. We have the Southwest quadrant, we have the Southeast quadrant, Northeast quadrant, and Northwest quadrant. The Southwest quadrant is where we are seated today, and it's termed the Lekki Free Zone Development Company. We are the operator and the owners of Lekki Free Zone Development Company, the 3,000 hectares of land. For context, 3,000 hectares of land is times 4 the size of Victoria Island. Victoria Island is about 750 hectares of land. Therefore, for us, it's more like not just a community, it's like a city that is being built. And for business development, therefore, we look forward to welcoming as many investors as possible to come and establish their business here in our place. And why should this place be a choice for you as an investor? Be it a foreign investor, be it a local investor. We pride in the fact that we're a well-secure area. You do not have to go through the stringent and the most difficult way of owning your own plot of land or your space for your business. You do not need to worry about the omoniles, the distractions that come with different government agencies. This is a place where we do not sell land to you. We sell a place of business because it is retrofitted with all necessary infrastructures. And we believe that marketing such a place in the Nigeria of today is one of the very easy tasks if you are a business person looking for each free business operation with huge advantages, including the several government benefits that come with the status of a free zone area.
So, it just seems as if you answered all my questions in one, you know, that is in my head. All the points you've made, you know, it's just like, you answered this question, he has answered this question,
maybe
he has answered that question.
But
maybe. But then let's dig deeper now into the business catchment. I would say it's a business catchment area where you can have a lot of businesses grow and all that. You understand me? What are the challenges or the things that you may say could be of a challenge, you know, for any business coming in, and how will it be ratified?
Thank you very much, George. You know, to build a city is one of the biggest Herculean tasks. And even the country, Nigeria today, we're talking about infrastructure, depth of infrastructure, inadequate or non-availability of infrastructure. The first challenge is our ability to provide what we have promised potential investors. We say that we're not just selling land, we are selling a business environment that is already retrofitted. It means that the biggest challenge we are confronted is to develop our infrastructure in the entire zone by ourselves. What do I mean? Imagine you have to be the one to provide the road, electricity, water, security, safety, environmental control for a city that is times 4 the size of Victoria Island. That is the biggest challenge. But I'm happy to tell you that today, we already have road network in excess of 30 kilometers. We have our power generated by ourselves and serviced by our partners. We do not rely on the national grid. We provide the energy source for you. We are saddled with the responsibility of providing for you your gas infrastructure, your water infrastructure, your 24/7 power supply. This is the major challenge that a manager and operator of a free zone is confronted with. The other issues that would have said is a major problem is the ability to put together all the required agencies of government that can enable the business to operate, from the custom. The major agency of government that is saddled with the responsibility of the management of a free zone is called the NEPSA. The NEPSA agency, the working relationship between them and the custom agency, the immigration, the DSS, the Nigerian police, and even more importantly, one of the biggest challenge is our relationship with our immediate community. That is also part of what we have had to put as part of our strategic requirement to undertake, where we would have to integrate the community beyond just getting or providing them with a job. How would this community from which these lands were seeded, how would they be proud to be a part of this business? How would they be proud to be a part of the beneficiaries of whatever it is that is happening here? So we have community relation. We have the responsibility of providing infrastructure that does not limit the ability of the community to exist. Because the issue of environmental issue is also a very paramount one that we need to critically look at, because the activities of the enterprises, the industry that are in this zone are capable of destroying the ecosystem. They are capable of destroying the society in terms of pollution, water pollution, air pollution, you can think of it. One of the biggest challenges that we are focusing on is to make sure that most and all of the enterprises that operate in this zone, they comply with international best practices when it comes to environmental management, when it comes to safety, security, HSC requirements. This is what we do on a daily basis, using the best apparatus of government, using the best apparatus of international best practice standards, and having to hire specialists that would be focused on ensuring total compliance to HSC prescriptions. These are major challenges that we are faced with. And that is talking about the internal challenges. What about the immediate environment? When people produce their articles, their goods, how do you transport them? So we recognize this as one of the biggest challenges that may not encourage investors to come into our zone. And we are happy today that the federal government and the state government understand this challenge. And as you were on your way coming here, you would have seen that the road construction is at a very speedy level, both from the Eleko Junction to Lagos, to the Abraham Adesoya, and then from Dangote Refinery here, you would have seen the level of work that is going on to Eleko town. So it means that while the road is being fixed, the alternative way of moving goods also are being adopted. The pipeline system, the reception system for the pipeline to be able to transport product from Dangote, even from the Atlantic Ocean, for ships and vessels that are offloading product into the different farm tanks that are in our zone. These are enormous tasks. These are enormous challenges that we are daily confronted with. But we're happy to say that we're in a good place, and we are one of the best places you want to run your business today.
Now, that's quite interesting. If you are traveling to a country, especially to a Western country, you need to be scrutinized very well. All your formations, your paper, everything scrutinized very well, whether you are bringing in a business or not, or you're just going there for studies or whatever. So how do you scrutinize businesses coming in, or people who have investors who are coming in, not just Nigerian investors, but also foreign investors? Do you scrutinize them very well, or what do you do to find out if they are truly coming with something that is beneficial to the country, and not just to come and invest and take our money away?
Thank you very much. This is a very good question. Like I said earlier on, we have the presence of all the agencies of government that are saddled with the responsibility, like a one-stop shop. in our place. If you're a foreigner coming to Nigeria today, the first aspect is to look at your business proposal. We have a department that is saddled with the responsibility of reviewing your business proposal before you can be allocated with land.
I will come back to you there. Let's go for a very short break now, and I'll be right back with this very interesting topic. Welcome back. We're still here discussing with Ade Otukomaya. Yes, that name seems to be tongue-twisting, but Otukomaya is quite interesting. So the controller of Lekki Free Zone, and he's talking about the business development and also, business trade in the country, in the zone itself, and also outside the country. So the question I was asking you is that how do you scrutinize, these people, businesses coming in, what are the procedures? What do you do about them? It's not just, people who are coming into the country. Some people are just coming in to come and, put in one little thing, and then after taking the money, they get out, and that is all. Is there proper scrutiny and is there continuity?
Yeah, there is clearly proper process for which, before you can become an operator of business in our zone. It starts, like I mentioned earlier on, I said that we have all the necessary government agencies with the requisite knowledge and experience to carry out some of their functions. And for you as a interested business investor in our zone, you will need to present to us a well-articulated business plan. Our reviews unit, we call it the marketing unit, will have a review of your business plan. That is more like your application to be part of us. And this is carried into a lot of analysis. Then before, for example, if you're a foreigner, before you can proceed to come into Nigeria, you need some requirements in terms of visa approval. You need the immigration and the SEPAC and all of that process, so that we don't want illegal foreigners in our zone. All these processes, we allow the government officials to carry them out. After that, we will sign what we call an MOU. MOU is executed between us, which spells out the expectation, the requirement, the liabilities of each and every party that is required. And in your business plan that you have submitted, as a country, we will already know the requirements in terms of for your specific operation. Maybe you will need to have some specific approvals like NAFDAC approval for the kind of business you want to do. Manufacturer Association of Nigeria approval for the kind of goods. And you know also that you can't bring your raw materials and your goods into the country without going through the custom processes. These are the processes that we put in place. And when we are satisfied with your response under the MOU agreement and all of that, then we go to the next level of signing what we call the investment agreement. And again, we are interested that the kind of money you bring into this place must be clean money. And there is a normal process of investors. When you bring money into a country, there is a normal process, the banking process that you go through for your. Of course, your money needs to pass through the bank. We don't deal in cash. So all of these things are put together in order for us to safeguard the security of our country and the sanctity of our soul, so that we don't, because we are looking for investment, and get some illegal money into our zone. So the processes are very, very long. But we also want to say that in doing all of this, we would like to say that we make everything like a one-stop place. If you are to operate or set up your company outside of the zone, the office of the custom is different from the office of the DSS, is different from. But here we are saying to you that all the agencies are in one place. And again, you cannot operate in the free zone area without going through NEBSA registration, because a new company has to be vetted before you can operate. If you are XYZ Nigeria Limited and you want to operate in the zone, a new process of company registration needs to be carried on, where you then be given a new birth. It will be called XYZ FZE. That is when and only when you can operate in the zone. The people that come into the zone, the goods that come into the zone, the raw material that come into the zone, the equipment that comes into the zone must be registered and be scheduled. and then we have to be able to account for everything and anything that comes into this.
So what you're trying to say is that, you know, if I get registered out there,
yeah,
you know, in the Nigerian context, and, you know, I
yes,
have my company or business, whatever.
The custom territory.
Yeah, it's a custom territory now. Do I just walk into this place and just do the normal registration with you guys, or I have to start all over again?
So you already exist outside, but you cannot operate with that name as it is and your registration status outside, except and only you submit yourself to the process of registering with NEBSA, and a new name is given to you with FZE in front of it. That gives birth to you as an entity that is allowed to operate in the zone. And do not forget the processes I highlighted earlier on for you, because you need to submit to me your business proposal, your business program, your business plan. We need to evaluate it. We need to give unto you MOU that you execute before we move into investment agreement, before we move into your lease agreement, and your building plans, your environmental impact assessments, your compliance with all extant regulations will have to be ensured are intact and in place. And this will be carried out with all the agencies of government that are here, working with us, the managers and the operators of the zone.
I want to ask a very sensitive question now.
Please go ahead.
This question borders on the Nigerian factor on continuing something. You know, we can start something very well, and then before you know it, as soon as we get to the middle of it, it starts waning.
Yeah.
Are we likely to see something like that, or are we going to be going stronger?
I'll tell you for a fact that we are a special status economy, and we are well regulated. We are business investors. We are not more of a, we're a privately owned company, right? Getting support from the regulatory authorities. I can tell you for a fact that we are highly regulated. We operate within international best practice. And let me tell you, the concept of a free zone and economic zone it's become an international method of growing an economy. And you just have to be compliant with the international standard for you to attract business. Because let's not forget that the essence of creating a free zone is to remove you from the larger Nigeria economy in order for you to make things easy, well planned, well organized, well managed in a manner that will continue to multiply the returns for the company.
Do you know why I asked this question?
Yeah.
You know, we have a new administration.
Yeah.
You know, and it seems to favor this. You know.
Yeah.
If you have another administration, would there be any form of you know, change? Or, you know, like I mentioned in my last interview, policies now, you know, that could affect, that will affect this, because some other persons could come in and say, oh, we don't want this, or it is hampering the people.
Let me, I understand your question, and it's a very good question, but I want to tell you that there's an act that sets up a free zone area. It's not just the pronouncement of a governor or pronouncement of a president. It is an act of the assembly, Nigeria Export Promotion Council, Nigeria Export Promotion Authority Act. And that act will need to be repealed for there to be alteration to the policies and the pronouncements that guide and govern the operation of a free zone. It is not what I think you can just sit as an executive and you alter the processes and the operation of a zone. It is an act of the National Assembly.
So it's in the law?
It's in the law.
And it is permanent?
It is permanent, and there is a department of government that is called Nigeria Export Zone Authority, NEBSA, that guides and governs the operation of the free zone and economic zone areas.
Now, comparing the businesses within the zone and those outside the zone, when the products from here or produce from here now get out there, yes, it's a free market, but is there any form of benefit or a better benefit to those out there?
So I'll tell you that products coming out of the free zone areas would have undergone a well scrutinized process I can tell you that the average cost of production in the zone would definitely be less than that of outside market. And therefore, I would say that from price perspective, you can tell that most of the product that will be coming out of will be a little bit cheaper than what you would find outside because of the special status of the companies operating there, because of the efficiency ratio of the companies operating in the zone, because you don't have to provide your power. There's no interruption, there is no lag time, there's no late time, and all of this put together would have brought down your average cost of production. And we must mention that one of the biggest reasons why zones are created is to encourage the production activities that will enable us to export to other countries and generate effects for the operators and for the country at large. I'll tell you that if you're bringing in your raw material from outside, for example, you enjoy 100% free custom duty, unlike the company that is outside. When you produce your product and you export, there are two types of export. You can be exporting into the Nigerian economy. That is when we now go back and do the computation of what duty you should have been paying on the component raw material that you use in producing that good. But if you were to export outside of Nigeria from the zone, you are 100% exempt from custom duty. So you can see that there are many advantages for the people operating here. The average cost to the people, to the guys out there, will be lower. Accessibility would also be very easy, because if you look at it holistically, in 16 years, we already have 55 or thereabout large industries operating in this zone today. And that is just one zone. Then imagine the number of free zone enterprises that are producing today. And that brings about what I call the competition. And where there is healthy competition, what do you expect? The average price of goods will begin to go down. What other benefits do we have? The job employment. The job employment that you create by the operation of the zone. And like my deputy managing director mentioned earlier on, over 5,000 jobs have already been created today. Our concern now is that even as we continue to grow, more than 17 new enterprises are currently at the different level of completing their factories today. They are going to employ people. Now, the question now is not the employment. The employment are being created in thousands. But the question is, do we have qualified workforce to work in those companies? That is one of the challenges where we are trying to deal with in order to get ourselves ready to take advantage of the employment opportunities.